I used to think love was a shelter, a place you could come home to no matter how rough the outside world got. That's how it was with Emily. We had our rituals: morning coffee on the balcony, Sunday dinners with too much pasta, quiet evenings watching movies half asleep. She'd lean her head on my shoulder, and I'd swear I could feel her heartbeat sync with mine. There was no reason to think it wouldn't last. We weren't perfect, nobody is, but we were steady. Steady felt like forever.
It started small. She began checking her phone more often, turning it face down on the table. Some nights she stayed late at work without warning. Deadlines, she'd say with a tired smile. She still kissed me goodnight, but sometimes her lips felt colder, like they were somewhere else entirely. I told myself I was imagining it. Everyone gets busy. Everyone changes a little.
But then I noticed the patterns. The late nights always fell on Wednesdays and Fridays. Her perfume would be stronger when she got home. Once, she laughed at a text and quickly shoved a phone into her pocket when I walked in. I tried to ask casually, "Who was that?" "Just work stuff," she replied without looking up. Her eyes were starting to avoid mine, and I felt louder than anything she could have said.
The first crack in the wall came by accident. I was doing laundry and found a folded receipt in her jacket pocket from a restaurant we'd never been to, for 2 people, dated last Friday. She had told me she was working late that night. My stomach tightened. I read the total over and over, like the numbers might confess.
That night, I brought it up. "Emily, were you at this restaurant on Friday?" I slid the receipt across the table. She barely glanced at it. "Oh, yeah, it was a work thing." "With just one other person?" "What does it matter?" she said, her voice sharpening. "You're being paranoid." I wanted to believe her, but she said it like I was the problem.
After that, I couldn't stop. I started checking her phone when she was in the shower, but the screen was always locked now. She'd changed her passcode. I drove past her office once just to see if her car was there. It wasn't. I hated myself for doing it, but the need to know was stronger than my guilt. Every moment with her felt like a test I couldn't pass. It wasn't just another man. I finally saw an email on her laptop. She'd left it open. It was from a debt collector, but not hers. She was covering for her brother, who was neck-deep in illegal gambling. The restaurant? A meeting with one of his associates. The late nights? Delivering cash to pay off parts of his debt before things got ugly. And the kicker?
I sat in the dark that night, trying to process it. This wasn't betrayal in the usual sense. It was worse. She hadn't just lied to me. She risked our future, our home, everything we built, for something I didn't even know was happening. I felt hollow. My hands shook, but my heart was numb. I didn't know if I was angrier about the money or the secrets. I called my friend Daniel. "Man, that's heavy," he said after I told him everything. "Yeah. Look, she should have trusted you enough to tell you, but maybe she thought she was protecting you. Protecting me by destroying everything we had?" I snapped. He didn't answer. I could tell he didn't know. I started remembering little things. Her jumpiness when the phone rang late. The random ATM withdrawals. The nights she came home pale and silent. Moments I'd dismissed now felt like neon signs flashing in my face. It was like watching our entire relationship in reverse, but this time with
A week later, I ran into one of her brother's friends outside a convenience store. "Hey, you're Emily's guy, right?" he said with a grin that felt too familiar. "Yeah." "She's a good sister. Pays her debts." He winked. "Yours too, if you're lucky." I wanted to hit him. Instead, I walked away, my stomach twisting. That night, I told Emily I couldn't do it anymore. "I love you," I said, "but I can't be part of this mess." She cried, begged me to stay, promised it was almost over. But trust isn't something you can glue back together once it's been ground into dust. I packed a bag and left.
I moved into a small apartment. The walls felt empty without her, but they were also quiet. I checked my bank account every morning, just to reassure myself it was still mine. Some nights I missed her so much I thought about calling, but then I'd remember the months of lies, and the ache would turn to steel.
I learned that love isn't just about holding someone when they're breaking. It's about letting them trust you enough to share the breaking in the first place. If they hide it, if they drag you into a storm without warning, it's not love anymore. It's survival at your expense.
If you're listening to this and you feel that pit in your stomach every time your partner makes an excuse, listen to it. Don't let love blind you to the truth hiding in plain sight. The hardest part isn't leaving. The hardest part is accepting that the person you loved was capable of making you doubt your own reality. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this Reddit story, drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe for more wild Reddit stories like this one.